morning. Good morning. How are you, Noah? Good morning, pal.
Good morning, Rodney. How's it going?
Everything is wonderful. Everything is wonderful. Everyone, good morning and welcome to the This Way Network. I'm Rodney Allen Rippy, your host, and you are watching the chat session. And we have an incredible guest this morning. He's a dear friend, a colleague, and just an all-around amazing guy, Mr. Noah Burlow. How you doing, Noah?
I'm doing wonderful. Wonderful, Rodney. It's great to wake up in the morning and always, have our nice chats as it is. It's great to do it today on your show.
Most definitely. Well, you know what, Noah? The chat session, we like to kick off the week with incredible guests, and we have had amazing people from around the country who are doing amazing things, and they have so much to share with our audience. We've got 4 comments coming in already. I see people. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Carrie. AC Cruz, good morning. Jacqueline Edwards, how are you? Good morning. And so we're kicking off the morning. It's been a great weekend. I had the pleasure of hanging out with Noah and some of our wonderful colleagues here in Southern California. We actually had an opportunity to go visit a very amazing recording studio here in Southern California. Noah, man, all of these elements, you come from a background of service. You know a lot of people. You're always out there. You're in the trenches. Noah, how did it all begin? I mean, you're an amazing writer, producer, director. You are a serious connector here in the entertainment and media, and you're doing things with a purpose. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Whenever I get that question, I always am reminded of a time where I was sent on a trip when I was in high school. It was actually the senior year of high school. I was on a trip called the March of the Living, which involved me going to a 2-week trip to Poland through the Nazi concentration camps. And I was 17 years old at the time. And, I had studied this part of our history a little bit, but never really got it right up in your face. Hearing from survivors of the Holocaust, seeing actual concentration camps and learning about this part of our history. And when I came home from this trip, while all the other seniors in the class, were getting ready to graduate and having their senior weeks, I felt like I still was in Nazi Germany because I couldn't stop seeing how history was repeating itself in my own mind, wherever I looked, everywhere I looked, the propaganda that was on the television, the way that the school system divided the poor kids from the rich kids, the way that people just had a lot of judgment towards others. And it was all up here. And I kind of felt like, like nobody would ever be able to understand what I was going through unless I unless I did something about it. And so through that, I was able to go to college, and I dedicated all 4 years of my school. They almost kicked me out because of it, but I dedicated all 4 years of my school in Ithaca College to trying to make a film that sort of captured what was in my mind, where I was trying to show how history was repeating itself in our everyday lives, so that I was making a movie that took place in Nazi Germany, like as a college student. It was very ambitious, very difficult. And I felt somewhat satisfaction where I would make a trailer, I would show something, and people could start to see the things that I was seeing. And then we were having conversations about it. I was giving lectures to different classes, and we were, explaining the dangers of this incredible mass controlling device called propaganda, which is a set of methods used by an organized group that wants to bring about the active participation in its actions of individuals. And they're unifying them through social manipulation and psychological manipulation. And that's what we do, Rodney, as filmmakers, as entertainers. Whether we like it or not, we are psychologically manipulating the masses to be detained
for the good, or worse.
It works
for good or bad.
It works both ways. And so, with that, idea in mind, it's like when we use this thing called entertainment, right?
Okay.
We're allowing ourselves to be detained and then having something enter us, whether that's news, whether that is, something that's going to make you laugh, something that's going to make you scared, something that's going to make you, distracted by all the incredible things that are happening in the world for that one bit of pleasure or that bit of excitement to get our minds kind of hypnotized and put in that place. And so with that experience and that obsession and that satisfaction of being able to maybe, get people to start thinking a little bit critically about our current American popular culture, it led me out here to Los Angeles. And I didn't want to work necessarily in entertainment. That wasn't what brought me here. I know a lot of people come out here for that. I actually got the opportunity to work at Steven Spielberg's Survivors Showa Visual History Foundation, which was a nonprofit organization that Steven Spielberg founded after the filming of Schindler's List. And he documented 50,000 testimonies of Holocaust survivors. And so my job with the group that I was in the education department, we were researching and creating educational tools to teach tolerance to people around the world through short documentary films. And then after a few years of doing that, making some very incredible projects with an incredible group of people, I'll never forget, we ended up, the foundation shut down where they were on the lot in Universal, outside of the Amblin lot. And they actually just became an archive over at USC. So now they're the USC Showa Archive and Showa Institute. And so when that moment happened, I had an opportunity, because it was my first job out here, where I could either find a job working on a reality TV show or sitting back and collecting unemployment and finding the right job. Because when you do something where you wake up every morning and it's coming from here, it's very difficult to kind of do anything else. And so I started my own production company, Immortal Cinema International. And I, at the time, the reason why we called it that is because we wanted the films and the projects that we made to live beyond our lifetime. Because that's the beautiful thing that I have found about this incredible gift of cinema is that, someday, Rodney, and we all don't want to think about this, but someday I'm not going to be here. You're not going to be here. Everyone who's in the chat is not going to be here, but this video will still be here, hopefully, right?
That's right. That's right.
This video will still be here. And so when you think about that, it gives us as filmmakers, as creators, somewhat of a responsibility with the projects that we make. Somewhat of authenticity that we have to be responsible to the future when we create cinema, when we create art, when we create media. We have to keep these things in mind that we got to do it with purpose. And so in the last several years, and, to be fair, we do live in Los Angeles. We do live in the entertainment capital of the world. And I had the privilege and the honor of working on lots of entertainment projects that I'm very proud of, that I've done, that developed some great relationships with some great celebrities, artists, musicians, and other filmmakers, that I've collaborated with, whether as a producer, as an editor. I've had a long career as an editor, editing feature films, documentaries, music videos. In the last several years, when I've had the opportunity to actually direct after a long career editing, my focus has been on socially conscious cinema. Or social impact cinema, which is another term that a lot of people have referred to it as. And what is social impact cinema? Social impact cinema is the ability to use this incredible gift of storytelling and filmmaking to actively engage in social impact with the film as a tool. So these are films that can plant seeds of consciousness, of exposing social evil, films that can help lead others to action to try to solve some of the problems that we have in society. And so my production company and my incredible team that I have been working with consistently now, have made films for various charities and
Yeah.
organizations across Southern California and across the world.
Right.
These organizations have used the films that we have made to raise money for their charity and raise awareness about their mission. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and this dates back even further than recent years, when I've been working with a couple of NGOs where we were actually helping activists make their films to expose some of the social evils that they were having in their respective countries.
Right.
And some of those films have actually gone on to help change the law in their political system, in their parliament.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, these are the types of films that, I may have been one of the only Americans on the film, and
Right.
in working with an international crew, not even knowing the language. But the recent films that we've done that we're very proud of, that have been having a lot of impact and a lot of recognition in international and domestic film festivals,
Mm-hmm.
have mainly been targeting a lot of the problems that we face here in Southern
Mm-hmm.
California: the homelessness issue, the domestic
That's
violence
right.
issue,
Mm-hmm.
the issue of mental illness, and the issue of abuse and neglect and poverty, and um, even as deep as a human trafficking, which is in our current film that's currently in the
That's right.
film festival we are.
And if I can, I have to tell you, Noah, you know, getting to know you and seeing how you have systematically utilized all of your skills. I mean, to be in entertainment, a lot of people think that, oh, it's just a lot of parties and a lot of fun, but there is some manual. I mean, you really got to put your hand to the plow and you've got to get out there and being an editor, understanding and working with your lovely wife to be able to put together the soundtrack. I mean, you guys have a marriage of love, but you have a marriage of extreme creativity, high level output of quality content. And I mean, I'm just blown away. And if I may, you know, I actually had it pulled up here, your current film, Who We Are. I mean, winner of Best Direction here at the Los Angeles Feedback Film Festival. Um, Going on Silicon Beach Film Festival, Best Sound Short Documentary. Um, Jazarian Film Festival. I mean, you are winning awards, Asha. I mean, you are all over the place with this film. And I don't want to belabor it. I really, if I may, I'd like to cue up your trailer if I can. And everybody, you're watching the This Way Network. I'm Rodney Allen Rippy, your host. My wonderful co-host Nina is in North Carolina, hanging out with her wonderful sister. I hope she's watching. And actually, before we get into that, I had a few comments here. Carrie said, I often think about how a kid in the future is going to react when they find a DVD in the player, and so all of these different things. Robin Spillman says, hello, how are you, Robin? And so many different people. Jacqueline Edwards, our news stations are using propaganda to control. It is done in a very subtle way. So that's very interesting. We have people making comments, and that's what we're doing here on the This Way Network. We want people to experience great people with greatness who are trying to do something. And social impact films is where it's at. I mean, these films are starting to come out more and more. And Noah, being in the industry, a lot of times getting distribution for projects, have been, kind of problematic. But now more and more distribution companies are taking on these social impact, projects and these films because they know that they're really making a change in people's lives, and the viewers are responding and they're filling up theaters. And like your project, you're winning awards wherever you go. It's because of the quality content and the storytelling that is all built in. It's amazing. Go ahead if you had a comment.
I did, yeah. I mean, I wanted to mention that this particular film, Who We Are, originally was made for a fundraising event for an incredible nonprofit organization called the Pathways to Independence. They're out towards Long Beach, and they are an incredible organization that supports young women who are survivors of abuse and neglect, poverty, homelessness. And what they do is they have these women, they take them out of their current situation, provide them housing, provide them a college education, provide them an allowance, a car, therapy, all the things that they were missing in their life. It almost like they become their parents in a way, the parents that they maybe should have had, type of a thing. And we were able to make a film about some of the clients who have had some great success stories about them. And when we screened the at one of their fundraisers, able to help assist in their fundraising efforts to continue to fulfill their mission and be able to do this kind of work. And it was a private screening that was done, at this fundraising event that they had. And so that's typically the formula with a lot of these social impact films that we've created, is that we screen it privately at one of their fundraiser events, so that the people that come there that want to help, that want to donate, they get that little bit of extra boost of like summarizing what the mission of the charity does. And maybe it helps them add an extra zero to the end of their check. Maybe it helps them to say, hey, you know what? Like, we didn't think we were going to donate, but let's really donate to this cause. And so there's a lot of ways that, people can help support organizations like Pathways, and some of the other organizations that we've worked with there, that a film is absolutely crucial in trying to communicate the work that they've been doing. And so film festivals and whatnot, this is just an additional layer to raise additional awareness about the charity, about the issues that we face here in Southern California. And I think that what we have been screening in a lot of these film festivals, a lot of the people, the audiences, as well as the festival directors have realized, like, hey, this is a topic that needs to be discussed. And after some of these screenings, we've had incredible discussions in the audience who just parked their cars next to a series of tents, who, come out of the theater coming to me and saying, that person up on the screen, that was me. But, I've kept it inside. Right. That kind of a thing. So
that's powerful. That's powerful. And I have to say that, Noah, everybody, you're watching the This Way Network. I'm Rodney Allen Rippy, your host. We have on today with us writer, producer, director, Noah Berlow. He's got an amazing film that's touring and winning awards wherever it goes. Everybody, you're getting ready to take a little quick look at the trailer for Who We Are. Here we go.
I was a
here we go. Sorry about that, folks.
I was a straight A student, but I was living a lie.
My dad was very drunk. I could hear the banging in the doors.
Around the age of 11, I started to have access to crystal meth and heroin.
I was a straight A student, but I was living a lie.
My dad was very drunk. I could hear the banging in the doors.
Around the age of 11, I started to have access to crystal meth and heroin.
Living on Skid Row, I'm a young female, and I was preyed on.
Who are we when we ignore the facts?
Who we are.
Wow, that's powerful. I mean, Noah, I tell you what, hats off to you. Hats off to every award that you're picking up along the way. And the fact that you are, creating these type of films to actually help drive awareness. I'm happy to say I'm in the process of launching the Rippy Foundation. My goal is to impact at-risk youth, senior citizens, and our veterans. And I have some really dynamic programs that I'm looking to really get out there into the marketplace and really be able to help people. And on November 11th, I'm in the throes of putting this together. I have something called Scale, Senior Citizen Appreciation Luncheon Events. And so we're looking at launching this thing in 3 cities: Ontario, California, Las Vegas, and Gainesville, Wisconsin, where my organization will actually bring in senior citizens, maybe 70 at every location, and be able to provide them lunch and give them certificates of appreciation. A lot of times our seniors don't know that they are well loved, that they are appreciated. And a lot of times people put, seniors off to the side, and as if, as they age, that they really don't bring value. And they have so much knowledge, so many stories. And so the Rippy Foundation, that's what we're looking to do on November 11th. So everybody keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully, we'll be able to share some content from this event and some follow-up. So please pray for me. Hopefully that everything will go according to plan on November 11th. That's just a few days away. And we're going to try to launch this thing. We're also running ads about it on KJBM Radio. That's a radio network. It's a beautiful music format. So, but Noah, back to who we are. This film is riveting. Just looking at the trailer and growing up in Long Beach. Shout out to Long Beach, because I was born in Long Beach. It's amazing that you are doing these type of films and really making a difference. Noah, what would you say to a young person? As you brought up a good point. When you were in high school, you had an experience. Would you say more high school students should have these outings and to be able to engage the world through a different set of eyes, as you had that experience?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think that in high school, especially when you get to the end of your high school time, all you know is education. All you know is indoctrination when it comes to what your teacher, asked you to do, and what your parents might have asked you to do, and what your friends, are doing after school and whatnot. Travel is absolutely, pertinent to understanding our world and understanding other cultures and our history. I would absolutely, recommend that. But I think it's really important too to realize that when it comes to thinking critically about American pop culture, I think it's really, really necessary that we teach that we learn to know how to speak critical about what we see on our television screens and our magazines, on social media. I mean, these are the kinds of things that are causing a lot of the problems that we have in our society as children, as teenagers. When you look at the suicide rates of kids, why are they wanting to kill themselves? If you're looking at the anorexia and problems such as that, where are they getting these thoughts from? What about the division that we have in our country? Why are we so divided? Well, maybe it's because we're constantly teaching our children to have others, whether it's racial discrimination or gender discrimination, or even discrimination about what's your position on this war or that war or these things or these people or this subject. And I think what's more important is that we have conversations about the fact that we are, as a society, have been hypnotized and indoctrinated by the images that are put in our brains by advertisers, by people that are creating us to have opinions that might not be our own. And so what's beautiful about cinema and filmmaking and being able to show films is that we can do this thing called have a discussion, like what we're doing right now.
Yes, sir.
And if you don't have something to talk about, if you don't have a means to bring the pink elephant out in the room, then there's nothing to talk about. We're afraid to have discussions that go against the mainstream in today's society because we don't want to be labeled. We don't want to be labeled as a conspiracy theorist or racist or whatever sort of names get thrown at people to prevent them from thinking critical about our society and our culture. Your buddy George Carlin said it best, that the people that run the media, that run the news, that run the indoctrination camps in our education system, they don't want us thinking critically necessarily. They want us to be obedient students that line up in a straight line, that ring the bell rings. And, you know, I saw an interesting meme recently, and it showed a picture of education in 1900, and it showed all the students sitting in their seats at the teacher's blackboard and following instructions and doing their thing. And then they showed a picture of education in today's society, and we haven't changed a thing. And when you look at technology, I mean, we didn't have these back then. We didn't have computers. We didn't have any stuff. Yet our education system is the same sort of method, that the same format. You know, why aren't we outside? Why aren't we out learning survival skills? Why aren't we learning to grow plants? And why aren't we learning all these other things to our curriculum that we could really improve? Why aren't we learning about things like homelessness and you know, wealth inequality and the real history about our people? Because if we don't learn history, folks, we are doomed to repeat it, and we are repeating it.
That's right. Noah, listen, brother. You have got to come back on again. Everybody, you're watching This Way Network. It's the chat session. We're on with director, writer, producer Noah Burlow, Immortal Cinema Films, right?
International, yes.
International, that's right, because this man is worldwide with these projects. Again, Noah, we've got just a few seconds left. Can you tell people, how can people learn more about who we are? Where can people find out more information about that?
Yeah, it's a good question. You know, I mean, at the moment, you know, I try to promote as much as I can on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Chach Burlow. Chach is my childhood nickname that happens to be my Facebook account, but also immortalcinema.com, our website. You can see more of the types of films that we've been working on. And yeah, I think, you know, I'll make sure to tell you, Rodney, every time we have a screening, especially a few that may be coming up in Southern California, or international screenings, or screenings throughout the country. So tune in right here with Rodney Allen Rippy, the great legend himself, and I'm sure you'll be able to pass along the message.
I definitely will. Everybody, you've been watching the chat session here on the This Way Network. Again, thank you for blessing us, man, with your presence. This incredible film, Noah Burlow, director, producer, just incredible all-around guy, putting out some of the best social content ever. And we are going to make sure that we follow you closely. We've got to have you back again. Follow up. We'll learn more about your projects and what you're doing. Noah, thank you. Everybody, have a blessed Monday and a fantastic rest of the week. We're going to sign off now, and we'll see you next time right here on the This Way Network. It's been the chat session. Thank you so much, Noah.
All right. Thank you so much, Rodney, and peace to everybody. And remember one thing, all right? If you are a filmmaker, if you make films, just remember that it's your responsibility to do the kinds of films that can help move our society forward. Because if you don't, who will, Rodney?
That's right. And everybody, don't forget, it's the American Film Market next week here in beautiful Santa Monica, California. Get out there, network. And again, thank you, brother Noah. Man, I appreciate you, and we'll have you back again real soon. Take care, everybody, and have a great day.
Cheers.
Take care.